and welcome to the SmackDown preview. I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture, joined by Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Friday Night SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
It's podcasting time! And I'm also not saluting for balance.
Yes.
There will be monarchists and Republicans alike represented.
Okay.
By the SmackDown review, as long as Rathone sits on Rathrone, thinking he's better than everyone. I've nothing but respect for Queen Nia. This guy's a pretender.
He has 2 birthdays a year, his real one.
Well, yeah, and as well, actually, I'm glad I've got you here. Sorry, Wilborn, not to hijack this. Couldn't help noticing that last weekend we recorded this podcast and then you decided to jet off to Glasgow, Scotland to hang out with Denise Salcedo. Now, she's an excellent member of the wrestling media. Follow Denise. You don't need me to say that on our outlets. She's a huge star. Well deserving at that as well. Very nice person from what I understand. I would have liked to understand it, maybe with the opportunity to meet Denise, because you did, apparently.
And apparently if he can afford going all the flights to go there and tickets to the show.
Yeah.
Where was ours, Mike?
Hot ticket. Expensive ticket.
I was on a stag do, but still.
Yeah, I also couldn't make it for reasons I've already forgotten. Wished I could.
Probably a gig, innit?
Well, no, I would have given anything to be there. I think I was with my family, so it's the same in a way. I don't mean to make the situation awkward. I know it's not great for the viewers and the listeners. I don't want to speak to him for the rest of the episode.
You know what? I'm going to put his fader down. It already was. I'm going to put it down as a sign.
Lost you.
Nothing from you today.
Denise, if you want to get in touch, you're always welcome as a guest. Just consider the company you keep. Got my eye on you, mate.
Lots to preview on tonight's SmackDown.
Fucking stacked, pal.
But before we talk about Clash or the Punker, there's sort of something that we want to talk about first, and they should address first on this episode of SmackDown. You mentioned this on the Raw review. You mentioned it in detail in our special Wyatt 6 reaction podcast that we did. Mm-hmm. But they have to address the creepy group who massacred people in the room.
Well, Chad Gable's dead.
Yeah.
That should probably come up.
Will they make an appearance, or is it just the preventative measures from the SmackDown GM who... For the life of me, I can't remember the name of.
No, I can't remember, and he's really going to be needed to spring into action tonight. I hope somebody can remember it in order to let him know that his show could be under attack. For those that didn't get a chance to watch it, I would still recommend going and checking it out before realistically this show and next week makes it a little bit redundant. I was really pleased with the long-form chat we had about I think it was called Wyatt 6 debut reaction. It's on our WhatCulture main channel. It's not just plug for plug's sake. We go quite long because I think all three of us really wanted to square some views we had, not just on the debut on Raw, but how the pattern speaks for itself. Wyatt adjacent debuts often amazing. Wyatt adjacent follow-ups often a disaster.
Yeah, and you've booked yourself not into a corner yet, but you've made things complicated now.
You've set a pretty big stall out for how this has to go. Wrestling and wrestling fans will be kind. They'll I don't want to speak for myself and assume that everybody thinks this. There is an audience that will just love this.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, some people will just not care about the logic holes, and you are absolutely entitled to think that too. From my point of view, if you were going to, as Fightful Selective reported and other outlets have suggested, that not lean as hard into the supernatural, you are asking us as a fan base to buy that within the confines of this wrestling company. I'm being a bit flippant saying Chad Gable's been murdered, but people have been assaulted to the point of serious injury, serious injury, decimation of Gorilla, and anybody that the Wyatt 6 could get their hands on backstage after the but just before Raw went off the air. And the company at large should feel under threat by this.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not you try tonight to do the that was really bad, but let's pretend it's fine and look the other way and then do the attack again, I think that is just about acceptable.
Yeah.
Stretches it a little bit for me, but it's just about acceptable.
Had the warning shot on Pat McAfee's show as well.
And this is the thing, right? They have stretched this to the Pat McAfee show. For those that haven't seen this, that kind of like signature boom came down at the end. Lights off, spooky stuff, all that, and McAfee show abruptly went off the air as a result. And we talked about this a bit on the news today. One of the last times they used a Pat McAfee show to help sell a story in WWE was The Rock going on there, ostensibly out of character, to respond to the backlash to him challenging Roman Reigns by calling fans Cody crybabies, and then look where that took us. Just like hours later.
No pressure, lads.
So like there is precedent for McAfee's show being used for big WWE angles. McAfee is of course part of like the WWE broadcast team on Raw, so he's experienced it firsthand twice now. So WWE as an entity should be seen to be taking this seriously. We have pitched that you see the building, Gorilla, some area or other, just like teeth to tits with security. Just absolutely belt and braces. Gorilla, I guess, is being used effectively as the hub of WWE. I think this time around, I would use a comparison, and I don't think it's unfair. What happened to Gorilla is like the sort of spooky version of what happened to the Ring when the Nexus tore it up.
Yes.
They were targeting what appeared to be, they were trying to make a point that we are going to rip away the facade of WWE and tackle the epicenter, and that in that case was John Cena in the middle of the ring, and then literally destroy the ring. Like everything you think of WWE, we are going to break it to bits. That was kind of the spooky version of that. They didn't trash a stage, they didn't like break the ring, but they did indeed take out this little hub, this epicenter that we see and we know is the sort of the control room of an any given Raw SmackDown. I thought it was a very effective debut, but then I always think it's a very effective debut, and we're right to be cynical. Again, if you just love this, open-hearted and all that, amazing, like, more power to you. But I would like very much WWE as an entity. The SmackDown GM can't remember his name to take it seriously. I would also like, because what we do know in canon is that Triple H and Postman Pearce kind of went off chasing Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So they were believably missing, but one would assume that Triple H will be there as the sort of overlord of all of this. And Postman Pearce could have the justifiable reason to be there as part of I'm going to allow my talent CM Punk to appear on your show because he's requested to announce his status in Chicago. And I've signed off on that. But as a result, I'm also going to join up with the SmackDown GM, can't remember his name. I really should. It's part of my job to oversee that.
Yeah.
And that puts all the kind of on-screen power figures in one building should another situation arise.
Yeah, to answer my own question, I don't think they will make an appearance, but you need to have
Why it's 6? More like SmackDown 6. Remember them? Long-term readers.
Need to have the appearance of preventative measures. And I'm not saying that means that they try and they go, oh, watch out, lads, they've got security actually today. But you need the overarching, the hanging threat of it all, because it feels like this is a storyline that's mainly going to be focused on Monday Night Raw. Like
a hack would be good, but this time the commentators actually care. Like, oh God, they're not here, are they?
Yeah, another message funneling viewers, arguably, from the biggest show, SmackDown, to make sure they watch Raw, like saying all will be revealed on Monday or whatever it may be. Like, that's fine. I don't think
we warned you, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I think the preventative measures is good, because otherwise what are we doing here? Why are you not reacting to a shoot massacre?
A deterrent rather than anything. Yeah.
And then next week is when obviously it gets followed up on to garner some viewership for Raw. Did well as well, I think, in the ratings, if I'm not mistaken, this week.
Yeah, well, in general, they've done well. Like, the Raw number was up. I think the Wyatt stuff online has generated, like, huge numbers. And this is the point. It always does well. If you remember Bray Wyatt's merch numbers?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they were so high.
No one else could flog a $6,000 belt.
Exactly. His numbers were always so high that even when it appeared as if, like, especially in the broken latter era of Vince McMahon WWE, they had ruined / bodged / taken all of this as far as they absolutely could.
Be so careful with this, don't you?
Yeah.
This is not... CM Punk didn't win the Rumble. Well, that's him done then.
Oh, God, yeah. This is totally different gravy. They ruin that character so often, and yet the merch, the investment, the numbers, loads of other metrics that still matter, even in the moneyed TV rights era of pro wrestling, some of the stuff that still proves that there is a bond between audience and performer, it was still a bombshell when he was let go. Do you remember in 2021 when he was like really, and you're like you would have never imagined it because he was such a needle mover. Yeah. And his legacy is being paid tribute to with this. And let's like not completely steer away from this. It's weird for how spooky and scary and terrifying it is. A fundamentally nice thing to do. It's very strange this. Like, they will want it to work, not just because they've kind of never really managed to do it, but also because if they do it, it will be the fitting tribute they've always wanted to pay.
And as an eternal optimist, like, there's obvious reasons why they didn't do it immediately as well. But the fact that this isn't a rush job of like, oh, goodness, Bray Wyatt's passed away. Yeah. We need to do something for his legacy, for his family, for, brother, etc. Like, it feels like they've gone, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, and we'll think about what we're doing rather than just, right, there's Uncle Howdy. What's he doing? Is he going to be a title challenger? Is he targeting people? Has he got an overarching goal? Like, it feels like they've considered this. People have pointed out all the breadcrumbs yet again. Yeah, I think always the issue was, all right, you've arrived. Even if you nail your first, like, you've arrived, you've destroyed Finn Balor. I thought that was perfect with the Fiend. Yeah, what are we doing now? Do you want a title? Do you want to run the show? Do you want to just take out individuals? Or
tell you what else as well. The clues are cleaner. Chad Gable. Like, how many times did we go back and? Again, because we're not necessarily collectively, the three of us, massive fans of this type of genre of pro wrestling. When you'd read long Reddit, I'm going back to like, say, 2019, but you would read long Reddit threads or you would see tweets or whatever where just fans had earnestly tried to like take one, and even though we were saying, sorry, like it's two, and they'd argue till the bloom face. No, it's three, it's definitely three. 1 and 1 is definitely three. I've made it work this time. It was like it felt like people were clinging on, reaching through, whatever, because of like the colour of a background or whatever. This Chad Gable thing was plotted. Like there's the screenshots that were slowed down by the sleuths online that love this stuff, found a CG, found a line in the text that said, you stopped saying thank you. There was another one that said like, why turn on your family, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, you're not reaching at all. You are, as a group, targeting Chad Gable and trying to get a message through to him to stop acting the way he is. He hasn't. And then when the turn finally occurs on the very same night, it's like, well, in our minds, we gave you the chance not to be massacred and you didn't take it. So here you go. There will have been surely, 5 or 6 minimum other wrestlers that have existed in all of that stuff that we haven't like slowed down and watched frame by frame.
Stuff that we've gone, what's going on there? Why are they doing that storyline? And all will be revealed or made sense of. Yeah.
They'll backward engineer it, but it won't be like a forced thing. It'll be like, for example, right? Let's say it was Punk. I don't think it's going to be Punk, but let's just say it was Punk. Like there'll be something like, we know you're a sinner rather than a second city sin. Top of my head.
Yes.
But like something there that's not reaching. That's Punk. They were targeting CM Punk. And you're going to see loads of different examples like that. The canvas is sacred. All of this is sacred. Gunther. A million of them. It's fundamentally easier than it looks to actually do. But like, nonetheless, I think they'll have put them in place, and every fooed, every, as you say, motivation, if they are going for a belt, it's kind of weird. Make it not weird. Make it make sense. Make it rational that Joe Gacy and Eric Rowan will use the tag rope and grab a headlock once in a while. Yeah. Make it make sense.
I do love is it the Joe Gacy, the Huskus one?
I think so.
I love that mask. It's terrifying. It reminds me a bit of there was a Doctor Who episode where some infection thing, but I think it was basically like this alien thing that just grafted onto the first human it came into contact with, which was a small child who I think had died during the Blitz looking for his mother.
Oh, really? And
he had a gas mask on, and so it made everyone it came in contact with change into a small child with a gas mask on going, Mummy. Ugh. And I was like, is Doctor Who the scariest program on television? Ugh. But yeah, I love that Huskus look.
I was never a Doctor Who fan because I feel like, I don't know if you echo this, generationally we lost Doctor Who, didn't we?
For those we had the Christopher Eccleston one, but that was kind of...
And I was too old for that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few years difference, but like there wasn't a Doctor Who in the years where I might have been most like sort of primed for Doctor Who. It wasn't a sort of 90s child thing and I was a 90s child. But I was aware of the TARDIS from like clip shows and like TARDISes / like teleportation devices. I was obsessed with them one day being real. Like I'm not really a sci-fi person, but like any time I would see any TV show. I remember The Simpsons did a parody of The Fly. I feel like we talked about The Fly in the SmackDown coverage recently, but like just anything that you could walk through a little box and appear somewhere else. Family Guy did it, I remember, with Stewie and Brian. I just really wanted that. I was like, that feels doable.
Yeah.
It's obviously not yet that we're aware of. NXT have mastered it a couple of times. Rey Mysterio and Dominic walked that vortex on a pre-show. But broadly, it's not. But I want it to be. I feel like there should be these things and you can set them up and then like there's like a panel like a lift where you press what floor you're going to, but instead of the floor, you type in your destination and the nearest one on Google Maps fires you out there. And I just think it'd save so much time.
And for Brian, for your homework this week, what if, a bit like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, me and Hamfler got in a teleportation pod at the same time, and you took the best bits of both of us and we became one person?
You're going to regret asking for that. Yeah.
What was it was Scarborough one the other day that popped me that Brian did.
What a, like...
Can you explain this?
A really deep cut from Brian, SmackDown Photoshop correspondent.
And this is in Brian's head right now.
You're joking. Not another one?
He generated yet another masterpiece. You can find these every week on X. I try and retweet them whenever I see them, or just follow Brian. And we'd had a conversation about a Undertaker dream match where he went back one-on-one with one of his most famous rivals, not Kane, not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nope.
Probably the second significant figure to save his career after Mankind did in 1996. That's right, it's the Shark that was coming to Michelle McCool. Only, we're realistic. Nature is a cruel mistress, and that shark might have passed on to old Hevfin.
Nice.
Now, Brian thought it through. Son of the Shark. Undertaker versus an emerging out of the ocean shark boy from TNA. NXT Forbidden Door Law on Scarborough Beach, on the North Bay, no less, of South Bay, North Bay, South Bay. It's been a while. South Bay of Scarborough Seafront, which he knows because we've mentioned it in the past, because he wants to put us on a bus going to Scarborough. If you want another reference to that, just listen to about 50 podcasts. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere.
And then obviously long term, that's a huge push if he goes over.
Who's the Undertaker?
No. You have the son of a plumber versus son of a shark.
Shark boy's son, the son of a shark versus the son of a plumber. And like the plumber's like, the son of a plumber is like my granddad, my great granddad used to stop water, and the son of a shark is, well, that's not good, I need it.
Yeah.
So
first blood in the water.
I love it. Give me a minute.
Okay. Well, let's move on to, the biggest thing. More so than Fallout on my notes. That's how big it is.
What?
Yeah. Top of the line. CM Punk returns to Chicago. A status update on him, of course, and fresh off the back of his temporary stint as a referee in WWE.
Oh my God.
And one of the greatest memes that they've ever recreated in the ring. I loved it.
Oh my God.
It was amazing, wasn't it? I watched just because really, just watched the Money in the Bank video the other day, the Money in the Bank 2011. You will apologize.
You will like it.
CM Punk the movie.
It does. You can hear that image.
You totally can't get that big face. It's amazing.
I also remember getting annoyed at that crowd that he was trying to get him to Vince, and they weren't really going for it. And I was like, every other crowd, how have you not done this?
He's actually set you up for it. Treat yourself. Indulge.
What?
Yeah.
Surely there was ever a time for it. Help me out, you.
He's going to need no help tonight, is he? He's in the All-State yet again. He was there at Survivor Series. He was there.
Who would have called that?
Only one in the game, mate. He was there for the Raw of the Year. An unforgettable exchange with Drew and Seth.
Oh my God.
Triple H at Survivor Series. Yeah, I'll set up all the matches. Thanks.
What's he going to say? So he said in the Clash at the Castle scrum, weird, he attended a scrum and it passed without incident. That
Had his cakes.
And ate them. See what I did there? And that he was gonna skip Raw under the permission of Adam Pearce and Postman Pearce, formal title. And did you see, by the way, that his thing got hacked? They were doing a bit about the Wyatt Six. Did you see what it got hacked to?
No.
Postman. Ask questions. That he was going to go to SmackDown because he wanted to be amongst his friends in Chicago to explain what was going to happen. There is so much they could do here. What we don't know is more exciting than what we do. All we know is that there have been like whispered reports that SummerSlam is the go date. But what does that mean for right now? I don't think if he's good to go, I don't think like Money in the Bank is going to happen personally, but I don't know this.
God,
right?
yeah, I remember someone suggesting a while back, I'd give Punk the briefcase, and I think it was Ibu, a friend of ours, who said, so you want to put him in a ladder match when he comes back from injury?
Like, the thing is, it's one of them pitches that's so wild that them doing it would just blow everything up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be one of the things that everybody would have a take on this, and you'd think, and like, the people that hate CM Punk would love it, because they were like, oh, I don't know if you know this, guys, but CM Punk gets injured sometimes. Apparently his arm is made of real glass, and all, they'd love it.
Yeah.
And people are getting the zingers in, and then like Punk himself would love that because he says he's not online, but I have my suspicions. And we got rumbled at that NXT show in Vegas that I've forgotten the name of. Somebody saw him on the phone, and it was like, it appeared like a Twitter timeline. It's like, whose account you on?
What are you doing there?
Whose account you logged in on? Is he going to say, I'm back? And like announce himself as a candidate for Money in the Bank? Is he going to say Chicago?
Yeah, everyone else is going through qualifiers. That's a good point.
Yep. Chicago, all I'm saying is I need you here tonight because I've got some bad news. I'm not cleared, and the doctors have told me that I might never be cleared, but I'm from this city, and we never stop fighting in this city. And he kind of goes from like all the bombast to CM Punk in Chicago, and like, look, your energy is everything to me. It always has been, but it gives me no joy to explain to you what I've had explained to me. All I want to do is be here for you guys, and my body can't be here for me. I want so bad to be back in this ring, and like my arm isn't letting me, but it's getting stronger every day. I always said it'd be till the wheels fall off, and it's not falling off yet. Drew McIntyre returns and just hits him with the future shock, attempts to re-injure it all over again.
I could show up on this show too, because I might not work here anymore.
He's quit, right? Does he? Let's talk about Drew. Was the quitting a last gasp? Got a plan. a quit, you'll never see it coming. Was the quitting actually going to go away for a bit? CM Punk feels like he's cleared the road for himself because he's saw what happened on Raw. And I guess that's that problem taken care of. And I'm fully fit. And I'll see you at insert date. Drew returns there, screws him, and then we're on the road to SummerSlam. Or does Drew rock up and get the most heat possible, just as Punk did a week earlier? Like, are we hearing people drop the C word for Drew as they were in Glasgow for Punk? And instantly you've got because they've been mirrors of each other, right?
Yes.
This became like a bitter meme game. Drew is not mimicking sort of knowingly, but is reliving a chapter of Bret Hart's life, and like that must mean so much to CM Punk. All of this sort of stuff has played out so magnificently. It's felt real, and even when you think they're amazing, they're working together, it's like, it doesn't feel like it. The animosity feels as good as anything in pro wrestling.
One of those few occasions where you could put a contract signing on a PLE, i.e. Money in the Bank contract signing for SummerSlam. And you'd be like, yep, that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
I'd pay to watch that.
They've managed to lure Drew back for the pay-per-view to get what he wants, sort of thing. Somehow a conversation is taking place in the background where Drew's... Because this is it, right? Triple H and Adam Pearce were presumably trying to get Drew to change his mind, and we don't know how that's turned out. Like, Punk can take a lap of honor if he wants tonight and just say, first one gone, out the way. I'm going to have a nice catch-up. Oh, my God, if we had a backstage with Cody again. But... got a few friends I want to catch up with tonight. Now that I've got rid of one of my enemies, that sort of thing. He can kind of talk the talk and walk the walk tonight about having effectively won the feud with Drew.
Yeah.
Even though we know it's only just getting started. CM Punk is class.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever brought this up before. Like, the game changes when the man comes around, and I'm not even talking about Becky Lynch, although I miss her too.
Yeah.
Like, he is a difference maker. I know
different gravy.
Different f***ing gravy. There are people in wrestling who just make it hit different. And I know that there are people listening to this who hate CM Punk just as much as I love him. And I maintain that's sort of the point.
Yes.
It's Petey McPickle, I love a bit of back and forth on. Every now and then, CM Punk just fills my heart with joy that I just tweet CM Punk. And a couple of times, Petey's gone, what's he done now? And I was like, nothing, Petey, mate, but just made you reply to wonder what that might be. Like, what have I not seen on Twitter yet? And it's like, the cult of personality is a real thing. The cult of personality is a shoot. This could be nothing like the Raw return promo. This could be everything like the SmackDown return promo. And it's in what's going to be a jacked all-state. Earnestly, if you wouldn't mind checking WrestleTix, because I have a feeling this isn't a sellout, otherwise we'd heard about it.
Yeah.
But it's
got to be up there.
It's a big-ass crowd, one would assume.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
What would the all-state arena feel like? There's an open goal here for you.
Oh, the Ball State Arena.
Thank you very much.
That's check your testicles, guys.
Yep.
Where are we? That's AW in the Wintrust in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They're going there at beginning of July. Collision.
The Win Trust.
Eagle Bank Arena.
What might you call that?
Call it the. You could call it the. Wintrust Arena, more like the Trust Wind Arena.
Number one for a reason, dead man. It's one thing to get to the top; it's another to stay there. Yeah, respect the business.
I'm struggling here.
Okay, that's all right. I assumed if it was a sellout, we'd have heard about it basically, and I don't think it is yet. Maybe there'll be a strong walk up. Who knows?
I'll keep an eye out for this.
Love it. Not the easiest one to get to. It's actually a little bit out of town, but in Chicago. But what a building! What you found?
All State.
Yeah.
There we go. This was 3 days ago.
Okay.
According to WrestleTix. Current setup 14,449. Tickets distributed 13,460. So just under 1,000 left 3 days ago, although they shifted 1,000 in the last 6 days. So
and 13,000 are in a hot all state. Yeah, it's going to be a jack night.
It's going to be a big show. Last time they sold it out. Raw in March, of course.
And the Survivor Series on War Games and the hint of Punk's return.
I would like it if he says, hey guys, I'm sure you all saw me doing my job on Saturday. You know, I'm the best referee. I'm the best at commentary, and I'm the best in this ring. That's why I'm cleared. That'd be a nice sort of
What do you think's happening? What do you think he's going to do and say?
I don't know if the Drew attack happens here. It sort of maybe should, like you say, for the heat, but it is also a quick turnaround of like, I quit. Psych, I'm back.
Yeah.
I feel like he has to poke the bear one more time. Like,
but what's his next goal? His next goal, working on the assumption Drew's quit. What does CM Punk want?
Yeah, I think he wants the title.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be the guy. He's obviously got a great history with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
You know, twice winning it and utilizing it to become champion. And I think he should indicate that he wants in, and then probably I wouldn't even have him in the ladder match because I think I wouldn't risk it. I genuinely wouldn't risk it. I don't think, Raw fails without him, but it feels like, come on, like he's already missed Mania.
Yeah.
Let's not take any unnecessary risks. There's plenty of other people who could say, just give them the briefcase. Braun Breaker for me, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd have him lose the qualifier. I'd have Drew cost him the qualifier.
Nice.
And then contract signing at Money in the Bank and the big match at SummerSlam. Maybe even step that up and say, you know what? Drew has just fought for a title. CM Punk's the biggest star. Let's just make it a number one contenders match. Whoever wins that is the guy waiting for Gunther in Berlin.
Love it. Because the other one...
I say Gunther, whoever the world champion is in Berlin.
The other cannot sanction the other winning the title. Punk and Drew's nightmare is Punk or Drew as champion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we've also got more Clash at the Castle fallout to talk about, specifically Cody Rhodes, of course. He made AJ Styles say, I quit. And the first person to applaud that match result was one Solo Sikoa, who, along with the rest of the Bloodline 2.0, jumped him afterwards. Owens and Orton made the save. Orton, who returned on the SmackDown before, of course, to help his mate out.
Yep.
How will Cody respond? It feels like they're heading towards a 3-on-3 match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it was so nicely done, this, because what they've created is 2 A stories. It's not an A and a B, it's 2 A's. The Bloodline, and it's realistically, like, I don't know, the Blood Fine, the Good Line, whatever you want to call them, they're not a tippy-top concern, but you put them in there with Cody, and they are. That's what stars do. Cody Rhodes is the top guy, the WWE champion, he's the everything guy. So now that Solo is actually, it's actions and words. Now that they've actually attacked Cody, rather than just saying, we got him in check, we know what we're doing, and then they've proceeded to back that up at what was basically the earliest opportunity. As soon as he was finished with AJ Styles, we're like, now. Like, they've picked the moment to strike. It's really logical that Owens and Orton would make the save, because we've been kind of fantasy booking multi-mans featuring them, featuring the Street Profits as like the underneath stuff. And now Cody has been dragged right into it. Exactly the move for me. Exactly the move. Whether or not Cody and the Bloodline settle any issues now, or it's just something for a 3-on-3 at Money in the Bank, perhaps, or whatever, that's great. And that's a now problem. And not a problem. That's like a now issue for Cody Rhodes to have to deal with. But at the same time, in this A-level WrestleMania fallout, Cody's back in the business, in the Samoan family business stuff. Randy Orton and Cody is going to be set up. It's a Trojan horse for Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, presumably at SummerSlam. And that's why I'm saying
that RKO out of nowhere is going to hit different.
That's the one, isn't it? Right. So like this is
just, I think he's been having a great time with it himself, and I think it works, especially now with where he is in his career. But I enjoy him as a babyface. That glint in Randy's eye when he goes, "I've not got long left, and I'm going to take that title from you
now." Like, I like the idea, right, of them booking the 3-on-3 and like winning. I guess you know, you could pin. I quite like Tama Tonga. I think he's having quite a good run, but you could probably pin Tonga lower, because you don't want to necessarily pin in Solo yet. And maybe it's the first little setback for the Bloodline that drives the arrival of Jacob Fatu, and is the first point at which, like, maybe even Solo's not completely aware, and you're thinking, Solo's got the ear of Roman Reigns, when really it's presumably The Rock doing the business, and then all of a sudden Jacob's there as The Rock's latest. I'm going to send the Psycho in, I think. And that's like how the Bloodline go off on there. I thought, Cody in check, where you don't. Well, now things are going to get really serious. And then, as the 3 baby faces are celebrating, like, Orton strikes, and it's just as simple as an RKO, and it's just as simple as that sort of like, what's the line? You're like, I always botch it, but do really like using it. Like, I taught you everything you know. I didn't teach you everything I know. Like, it's a simple little wry. You either do a wry smile of Orton saying, like, not yet, kid. I'm not ready to go just yet. Like it's legacy, like that, if I say so. You know, what's that thing where he says, like, there's a film or something. Got you right there.
Dead Man's Shoes, one of the greatest films ever.
You're f***ing there, mate.
Oh, God, I need to watch that this weekend. It's so good, that film.
Yeah.
Annie Considine, innit?
Yeah. Orton doing that.
Standing in the rain. A terrifying individual.
It's amazing. It's amazing as well. He gets them all. They're the worst. He gets them all. He fucking gets them all. Like that sort of, what starts off as like this sort of, maybe even Cody acknowledges it. Like, it's really cool that I'm the champion, and you know, Owens and Orton are kind of mates, but even Owens is sort of like, I've done that the odd time myself. I get it.
Yeah.
You go and do you, Randy. What sort of, it doesn't need to be this, oh no, what's Orton done? It's just sort of, that's the Viper, and that's our Viper. And Orton's just, Cody, mate, no. You beat me, then we'll talk. But until you have...
Pharaoh.
Oh my God.
Had it coming.
Here's a theory. I know nothing. End of sentence. But also, I have known nothing about this.
And it's good of you to say that, because you're protecting your journalistic integrity.
Exactly. By the way, I meant to shout this out. I saw this tweet, and I've had it there to remind myself for ages, and I've never gone back to it. He tweeted this in April, and I was like, I'll remember this and use it. And I've just had it thing that I sent to myself, and I was like, what on earth is this today? Shout out to Ali on Twitter, who says, after you were right about Cody losing at WrestleMania being a good thing, it'd be cool to see what your predictions are for 2024 on the podcast. Thanks, Ali. Thanks for coming to the main source.
Don't create a monster when there's already one lurking within.
Me and Sid will be answering more of your wrestling questions. I'll deal with it on there on a podcast later on today.
I'll fix it. Fix the business.
But, and this is nothing against the performer, and this is not me suggesting that they should be gotten rid of. What if they said to Tonga Loa, as he's known now, we want you in the bloodline, but like, they're very aware that like the thing that killed the NWO, the thing that kills everything is everything getting a bit bloated and a bit stretched. What if they were like, here's a contract, don't tell anyone, but it's like a short-term contract. What we want to do is bring you in, have you and Tama kick some ass, but then you're revealed as the weak link, and then you're gone just as quickly as you came in. Like, imagine, like you say, they do the 3-on-3 at the Money in the Bank, right? And you could have, I've always booked like Jacob Fatu coming in and attacking there. And it's like every time you think, I've got the bloodline figured out, another one comes in. And then
builds on the backlash thing, and Cody's the difference maker.
If you don't want to do Randy, you can do Solo versus Cody at SummerSlam, sorry. And you got like bloodline law throughout all the big 4 pay-per-views, potentially.
I think it's on.
Yeah, I agree with the breadcrumbs that have been dropped, especially recently. But yeah, imagine if it's Tonga Loa, who eats the pin, and it's like the SmackDown afterwards, and it's like, right, we're going to deal with it. We need to refocus.
Yeah.
Because you know how previously Roman would be like, disappointed, I'm pissed off with you, I'm going to yell at you, you let us down, but moving on.
Yeah.
What if Solo's like, either from his decision or the tribal chief?
Yeah.
One and you're gone, mate. See you
later.
later.
I love that. No lives.
And they're like, what do you mean? And then Jacob Fatu just shows up and it's like, boom, he takes your spot.
Creates the stakes that at no point can...
Did you see the family tree we've got?
Yeah.
We ain't exactly short of people to sign.
Can't stumble. Once.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I'll be up for that.
Call me butter, baby. I'm on a roll. Yeah. But yeah, I do think that they're set for a 3-on-3 at Money in the Bank, which is fine. Like, Money in the Bank's always one of those ones, a bit like the Rumble, where I'm like, I don't really mind not necessarily having all the big title matches on there, or, you know, having...
Oh, they've got one.
The champions involved, the champions involved in matches. Because, like, the card right now is obviously the 2 Money in the Bank matches and Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Speaking of which, actually, this brings me on to my next point. What do you do with Bayley next? We know what's coming for her at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Could we know, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do with her in the interim? And I have a pitch for you if you haven't got anything straight off the top of your head. Obviously, defeated Piper and everything. That's kind of done and dusted. And, well, I've got my big theory for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I think it's absolutely inspired.
Which is Queen Nia at SummerSlam whilst Princess Tiffany Stratton, who's also Mrs. Money in the Bank at this point, is there just to help Nia. Definitely not a threat for a cash-in.
Do you know what is... I've got a little thing eating away at me, and it's going to sound really stupid to do, but it's WWE, and sometimes they do the stupid thing, and then the stupid thing sometimes works. I have this thing in my gut that maybe they're going to turn Naomi.
Ooh.
Bayley.
Well, I've got a way to get there, actually, when we get to...
Like Bayley has said a couple of times now, like, thanks for having my back, I've got yours. And then they proceeded to get their arses kicked as a result of that. Like, they had a matchup, like, you could thread it back to Backlash, basically, where, like, sort of Naomi doesn't have much going on in the run-up to WrestleMania, then links up with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and as part of the big 3, everything is rosy, right? Then she elects to part ways in order to chase a singles title, and the big 3 become just 2, and they go on to win the tag titles, and Naomi's singles endeavor fails. Ultimately, she loses at Backlash, France. But she does it, like, with a very sporting attitude, and she shakes Bayley's hand there, and they become allies on screen, which is important because, like, they kind of done it. It's a very lightweight version, but they sort of done a version with Bayley of Jey Uso's story of, like, the kind of locker room trust there. Bianca Belair made no secret of, like, everything you did to me, it's going to take more than this. Just because Damage Control have turned on you, it doesn't mean that we're mates. And I like that, and they should have that kind of discipline. Whereas Naomi was away from WWE while all that was going on, so you could rationalise that, me and Bayley are cool. Last time I was there, she had a side pony and a hug. Everything's fine. It's a bit of a stretch, but that was how it was working. And then, like, she's been battered a couple of times. The relationship with Bayley has hardly worked out swimmingly for her thus far. They've been beaten up backstage. She lost the title match. She's certainly no closer to the title.
Mm-hmm.
Could they, in line with how you think things are going to go at SummerSlam, have Naomi turn heel and create a summer program for Bayley with or without the title?
Yeah.
Say she was to lose, have you then got a feud lined up between the two and a new character direction for Naomi? Look, they took the pop away from her with that stupid Def Rebel song. Her comeback.
And then Bayley would have no friends or buddies. And then she can get a good theme again.
Naomi's return in storyline and reality has sort of flattered to deceive.
Yes.
Channel that into why she's turning heel. I'll look at it and I think, like, you're trying.
And also, it's funny because you've drawn comparisons between Naomi and AJ Styles.
Supposed to be on the same trajectory, and AJ Styles ended up in the co-main event of the last PLE. So if she was to then turn, as AJ kind of turned again, it'd almost kind of keep them both. Oh, I'll try that instead.
Can you just hold your hand for me like that? Just
Up
hold
to
it
you like
like
that.
that. What if we do this, right?
I'm into it.
Just in locked fingers, by the way, interlocked fingers if you're just listening to the podcast. Because I had a pitch. You know, sometimes...
Remember Uri Geller? Win, England, win. And then he would like
he moved the ball.
bend a spoon to prove that he had power. You had to put the hand on.
Scotland, England, that, wasn't it?
Reach out. If you're watching on YouTube, reach out my hand. Get your loved
Should have
one.
drawn an eye on there as protection from death.
Get your loved one to take a picture of you touching our hands reaching out, like on the SmackDown podcast, and say, win, SmackDown, win. And you two will enjoy yet another Friday night at the movies.
Win England and, maybe play some good football while it's right. So what if,
Matt Reigns, touch this hand, and you two might actually do a good job at pub basketball. Yeah, I'm just joshing with mates. We're best mates. He knows. He gets it. He's not watching the Shawn Michaels run up that hill video waiting for Vegas. He's fine. We're best mates. No sequels, am I right? Or am I?
So...
If only could make a deal with God.
I can beat you.
Dunk after dunk after dunk.
Ashley
at the door.
You want to throw your life away? You want to throw your career away?
The garden getting dug up and turned into a full basketball court.
I can't be Evelyn. I have no career. Seriously, though, your boss has been on, and you need to really focus up. But you know how sometimes they like to draw comparisons between people or champions or whatever.
Yes.
By putting them in similar scenarios. You got Cody Rhodes, world champion in a multi-man, a team. Why not do the same with Bayley? You can either do a 3-on-3. I don't know who the third ones would be.
Miriam
could potentially be on there as well. That's a good point. Michin. Or you just do Bayley and Naomi, and it works quite well. And they take on as a sort of preview, although it doesn't work because she's going to be in the women's ladder match, but as some sort of Nia Jax team.
Okay, yeah.
A court of Nia Jax, where Nia basically pins Bayley in that match, or pins Naomi and is the catalyst for this change. What is going on up there?
I never know, man. What if tonight a huge development occurs that isn't even really promoted on this card? What if tonight Chelsea Green, via really nasty sneak attack, turns on Pipe and Niven, and Bayley makes the save?
Wow, I like that.
It's part of Chelsea, your pitch of Chelsea Green joining Nia's Queen's Court as like the jester.
Oh my God.
My queen, I apologise. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What if tonight's tonight?
Good. Works for me.
How's that?
Get pretty deadly involved, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
The biggest pap in the crowd for me.
Just storming to the palace of Nia.
Get knocked out of the way when Ahmed Johnson comes out.
Jesus Christ!
But yeah, I thought that'd be an option.
What are the qualifiers, please?
The qualifiers, thank you for asking.
For the women's.
Have the women's ones been announced?
I saw on the preview that there were going to be qualifiers for both. I know there's two men's ones, but they've maybe not announced the women's one yet.
No, not yet. You would assume Tiff would be in one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing for the SmackDown side of things as far as I can see.
They're kind of half-arse in the booking of the women's division. What?
Just double check this. Well, I'll keep looking that up.
That's all right. I was curious if there was clues to be taken from, if there was like because they're all three-way qualifications, and if there was a women's three-way that had been advertised, you could kind of draw conclusions from who was going to be in that. But I guess not. So you got probably, maybe it is all, will all fold together, and we'll get Naomi, Tiffany, and Michin in a three-way, and it's Tiffany that advances, and Naomi's yet again left kind of like looking at a situation.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Then the men's side of things, I like this because you can sort of guess from the names involved who goes through, but there's an argument to be made for kind of all six being in there. Well, almost all six. Randy Orton, Tama Tonga, and Carmelo Hayes. Melo being in a ladder match would kick ass, and you've got a justification for Randy and Tama taking each other out of that.
Yeah, couple of scalps here, isn't it, for Melo, even if he kind of gets it.
Backdoors his way in, didn't he?
Yeah. He finds himself fortuitously placed near, let's say, Randy Orton. Oh, I don't know. Who does he pin? I don't know. But, like, he finds himself just near a situation that has occurred that has nothing to do with him, whereby a bloodline war has broken out. Kevin Owens has come down to try and help or whatever. Somebody's eaten I'm going to say he pins Orton, right? And why I say that is because, let's say, in the skirmish and in the scuffle, it's the bloodline that win out, but Tama Tonga's not able to take advantage and Melo does. So let's say Orton takes a pretty nasty shot to the head, and it is yet again, it's like, and then after the bell, Melo just slides
Kevin
out.
Owens has got a qualifier as well, so that justifies him not being there. Meanwhile, Solo and Tonga Loa aren't involved in any of this.
Melo slides out. He's sort of out of trouble. Cody makes a save for Orton as if to sort of pay them back for the weekend and say, I'm here for you. So what I know is that our bond can never be broken. Smash cut to the end
Makes
of
a
Money in
save
the
for Orton, but Orton still gets pinned.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you just protected yourself from
Cody,
me.
all right, Cody, half a job. Right there. And it all sort of builds as like you can see that Orton's thinking, well, this bloodline thing's quite a big issue, but I found myself pretty close to what I actually want. So, like, yeah, I'm going to say Melo pins Orton and qualifies.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I really do. And I want Melo in the, well, I've only got a couple of weeks in the interim. Talk it up like I've pinned a multiple-time world champion. Like, he didn't do anything. He just went, oh, body in there. Sweet. Yep. I've pinned a multiple-time world champion. I'm probably the favourite, if anything, for Money in the Bank, because he isn't. He ain't winning Money in the Bank. I don't know who is right now, if you don't have Braun in there, but yeah, I like that. And on the other side of things, you've got Kevin Owens, who, again, is someone else you could take out of the picture with, like, I've bloody had it with this bloodline TPO. Grayson Bloody Waller and his best mate, presumably there at the same time, in Austin Theory, and Andrade, who's someone you could buy as a Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yes. Of note, I guess, Andrade had their speed title in the graphic.
Yeah.
When Ricochet
already a champion.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're kind of trying to allow that to at least feature as a thing that matters other than on X. Again, really, this is just about who's not winning and winning. Owens feels like he can't win. And it's like, oh, we had two opportunities to get into the match, and the other line have screwed us in both. And now, again, drive that. I'm going to go with Andrade because it's process of elimination. Owens feels stood up with that. If I'm A-Town Down Under and DIY, I am begging to get my match on Money in the Bank because that exchange on SmackDown last week got nothing. I don't know if that Scotland crowd were all watching the Germany game on a phone and that's why they were so down in the dumps, but it got absolutely jack shit. There was like crickets on an otherwise fairly hot weekend. So I don't think people are with this. Get to the title change. Persist if you must with the Austin Theory babyface run. Those are four words that shouldn't go together. And you just see where we're going. If we've got, just dead quick, Money in the Bank, 6-man with the Bloodline and Cody, Priest and Seth, DIY 8 on under. That's your 5-match card, isn't it? We'll take that.
Yeah, I could put some more on there for me.
But WWE like 5 or 6, so like, hoy him on there.
I'd have a 4-hour pipe. I love Money in the Bank. It's one of my favourite ones.
You do like that one, don't you?
So you can go as long as you want.
Cut to the chase with the tag match.
The Raw one, we aren't going to give away our predictions for this. Bronson Reed and Ilya Dragunov now, of course.
That's the three-way. Is it? Is that the three? I knew thingy was...
You replace Chad.
Chad Gable was lifted out of it, so Dragunov's in with Braun and Bronson Reed.
He's going to have a lovely night, isn't he?
Oh, my God. He really is.
Please. I reckon he's the one who attacked him. I reckon it wasn't even the YS6. If I just take Chad Gable out, I could go
He's
spotting.
furious.
I don't want to win. I don't want to win money in the bank. I just want to get my hair.
Massacre me! His neck's just sticking out. Yeah.
So we got Jay as confirmed as well so far. So we know
He's winning.
4 from 6 potentially.
Yeah.
Well, we've still got 2 more triple threat matches to go through. One final thing. By the way, I just had a thought while you were talking about that, about Bayley enlisting the services in a match between her and Nia Jax. Let's say Nia Jax gets 2 more, members of the court.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really work with Chelsea and Piper in this scenario because, because the Bayley's interacted with them a lot recently.
Yeah.
Imagine Bayley saying, "I'm going to enlist the help of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill."
Oh, I love that.
As a trio.
Yeah, that would be nice. And Bianca's still, like, Jade's like, cool.
And Naomi could also be like, "Oh, screw me."
Yes! Tick, tick, motherfucking tick, boy. We've done it again.
And Jade Cargill. Obviously Jade Cargill. Why wouldn't you?
Jade would be buzzing.
Jade
Bianca would be furious. No, I keep telling you, no, Bayley.
Jade pins Nia in that match. Nia wins the title. Yeah, hold back maybe on.
Sorry, am I doing a podcast with Shawn Michaels? Because you are absolutely shoot-goated cooking right now.
Also, we've been promised a confrontation between Logan Paul and L.A. Knight. Yeah. I don't really know what this is, because obviously last week it was L.A. Knight. Well, actually, sorry. It was Logan Paul getting home. Good Tetris tournament. All right, mate. This is a weirdly lax door policy you've got. Your mate's in the pool. Huh? I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
I didn't realise KSI had flown over. Oh, no. It's a really jack guy in sunglasses.
It's LA Knight in your pool. Yeah, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, long term.
You got a pitch?
Long term, LA Knight defeats Logan Paul to become the United States champion.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's weird. It's in Cleveland, that, isn't it?
Although,
But then you could do Logan Paul just comes out and goes, "Yeah, I'm from Cleveland. Doesn't mean I like being here anymore."
That's nice, yeah.
Doesn't he live in like Puerto Rico or somewhere random like
He's
that?
probably got like 12 houses, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's on that YouTube money, which I was.
He's on that,
like
he's on that Prime money. I am on that money because it's delicious and feed it to your kids.
No.
Logan Paul house.
Where
We toured Logan Paul's new $16 million mega home. It is Puerto Rico.
Right, okay, great.
Oh, no. This one seems to suggest he rents it with his brother. Oh, well.
What a great vibe that place must have. Yeah, LA Knight and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. I think you're right. I think, I love coming back to Cleveland because it reminds me why I left. There you go. There's a line. LA Knight's like, excuse me, last year's SummerSlam, I won a Slim Jim Battle Royal for this shot right here. And Samantha Irvin, in a bit of LTST, low blows Logan Paul for what he did to Ricochet at SummerSlam last year and cost him time. LA Knight and Logan Paul, like wacky stuff. Like LA Knight, weirdly, they seem to have unlocked a new thing with him where he will do pretty much anything for his feuds. So he turned up at AJ Styles' house. He's turned up at Logan Paul's house. We're talking like global travel out of spite. He goes everywhere in a Slim Jim car.
Slim Jim car, Slim Jim plane.
Yeah.
Slim Jim motorbike.
Yes. All the Slim Jim
Slim Jim
transport.
skis.
Yes. Slim Jim snowboard, if he's not into skiing. What are they? Slim Jim penny farthing. Logan Paul pushes him off.
Well, I was suggesting, have the confrontation tonight.
I love the idea of the invention of the penny farthing. Feels like a Josh P sketch come to life, doesn't it? Got this brilliant idea. You know, the wheel. Mm-hmm. Well, you know how it's been like being used to like move like things in wheelbarrows and move out like all this stock along. Yeah, could move bodies. Excuse me. Yeah. Just you need these extra because we could use a wheel plus a wheel mechanism with these things we've invented called pedals, and then another wheel at the back, and the body can be moved forward along with the stock, along with anything else.
That's a great idea. Like each 2 wheels, equal size, a little.
No, I'm just going to stop you there. We're going to have a really small one, like
Okay.
smaller than the one we put on the wheelbarrows that have been
Right.
replenishing our stock.
Okay.
12-foot one.
That you sit on, sort of.
Yeah, you got to get up there. We'll work out how later. The balance situation is out of control. Like, we don't think you can stay up there for longer than 6 seconds. It's so high, if you fall, you're going to break your arms and legs.
Yeah, you can barely stay up there for as long as a vine. What's a vine? Don't know yet.
But when you've been on the penny farthing, we're pretty sure it's going to drive technology forward that vines will be here in 2 to 6 years.
What if
NXT character, penny farthing.
LA Knight again comes out and cuts a promo this week with no Logan Paul? Okay. Confronts Logan Paul, but he keep ducking me. Then again, it's in Chicago. It's a big show. You might as well have Logan Paul be there as well. But have the catalyst for LA Knight confronting Logan Paul this week.
Yeah.
Not only being, I want that title shot, give it to me. What have I got to do to you to convince you to give me this? But also flip the script, because you've had LA Knight, like you say, crashing AJ Styles' house, crashing Logan Paul's pad in Puerto Rico, and sitting in his pool. What if we see earlier on in the week, we're going to do WWE cribs. Hi, I'm LA Knight. Yeah, welcome to my crib.
Oh, those cribs. Oh, yeah.
Right, and I had you there. And he's in a massive house. We've seen it when he was doing the $1 Million Champion stuff. Cheers, Toots. Here's my house. Here's my 12 bedrooms. Here's my indoor go-kart area or whatever it is. And here's my pool. It's bigger than Logan Paul's pool. And not the only thing I'm talking about. My cack, right?
That's what he's on about.
Yeah, but I haven't been in it because I've been away.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to take a dip right now. I'll put my goggles on, get in position, press the button to unveil the pool cover.
Luxury pool.
What? That's not the colour a pool's supposed to be. That's because it's a pool of Prime. You've been pranked, bitch. And he's replaced his pool with Prime water. And he's like, I'd rather drink bloody used pool water than that.
Than Prime.
But I wouldn't, because it's delicious and you should give it to your children.
Another pitch for you that involves promoting Prime on SmackDown, which Logan Paul likes to do, right? Logan Paul's like, he's got his bottle with him, as he always does, and he's talking trash, and he's saying, look, LA Knight, you can come to the house whenever you want. I know you want to taste the good life because, you know, you don't get to live one yourself. Speaking of the taste of the good life, I'm going to have a taste of it right now. And opens up the bottle. Pack shot, as they say on The Apprentice. Got the brand right in the hard camera. Takes a drink out of it. Spits it out really dramatically. Scraping his tongue the whole deal, sort of that. Cut to the big screen. LA Knight is once again on his travels, right? He's dressed in a purple jacket and purple hat. He's Willy Wonka, if you will. He's at the Prime factory, and he's singing a song, and he's going, I got a golden shower. And rather than a ticket, he's pissing in one of the bottles of Prime. And then it just so happens that the one that's been taken off the production line, and the millions getting made, is the one that Logan Paul has drank. Why? Where did he get it? NXT, because it's the member of the No Quarter Catch crew.
Oh my God.
Great, that. I thought you were going to say it was one of 2 bottles that LA Knight is pissed in, and it's the launch of a new Prime competition. Can you find a Prime bottle of piss? Win yourself 2 tickets to SummerSlam in Cleveland if you can find a piss bottle of Prime.
I've definitely told this story on a podcast before, but shout out to lad I went to school with, Johnny, who ate a square hula hoop in front of us. We'll never forget it.
I feel sick. That took a second to register with me.
Remember that?
Oh, what, just for people who are unaware?
There was a competition in the 90s where Pax hula hoops, you know, like, it was probably like the $1 million prize, but in reality you rang up and it was like 50 quid or something. But like hula hoops, the circle crisp, I don't know what the American equivalent of that might be actually, but like just hooped, shaped crisps. You can put them on your finger when you're a kid. They're good fun. And they had square ones for a bit, and if you found a square one, you won a prize, cash value or whatever. And he goes in the pack, and then like, we kind of, like, I saw it. With
they're not like Funyuns.
No, they're not like Funyuns. A couple of other people saw it, and then we saw it, like 8 years old maybe. He goes, Johnny, that was a square one. Yeah. Like that, and that was all the rest of the thing about the entire day. It's currently, and for British listeners, viewers, there was one earlier this year, wasn't there, where there was like a cream egg.
Yes.
Where you opened it up and it was white chocolate instead of milk chocolate, I think. Is that right?
Oh my God.
Which, difficult that one, because I would have wanted to save it to be like, look, I found it, can I have my prize? But would I have lasted the night without eating it? I'm not sure, because I bet that would have tasted unbelievable.
Yeah. I discovered Raspberry Ripple Milky Bar chocolate.
Excuse me, where? That news agency, they need to change this. Always got this. But I had a white chocolate Biscoff Kit Kat Chunky from there the other day.
Yeah, I had also a Raspberry Ripple Iron Brew yesterday.
We've got a place.
I don't know where it was. Me and Anne Louise were just out, and normally, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yep.
Well, can we buy this? No, Adam, we need to buy food for your child. But even she saw them and went,
Oh my
put
God.
it in the trolley.
Flavored Milky Way.
Can't remember where we got them from.
Interesting.
Milky Bars were on me that day.
Shout out to Adam Nicholas of WhatCulture Wrestling, who enjoys. I think they've been discontinued, but for like a birthday a couple of years ago, I managed to get him a box off Amazon. Milky Bar crispy rolls.
Ooh, Milky Way crispy rolls.
Milky Way crispy rolls. Excuse me. Yeah, that come in packs of 2.
I remember them. They were great.
Yeah, he was a fan of them. I don't think they make them anymore. Also, I'm still on the hunt. If anybody can find any and wants to send it up to the office, don't send money like Wilborn asks. Instead, send that spread that's made by, I think, the little company Italiano that is apparently the inside of Kinder Bueno, because I am hounding Lidls of the Northeast and can't find it anywhere. So if you happen upon a jar of it, get up to your old friends at WhatCulture. We'll maybe spread it as much as we do wrestling news.
Well, that sounds good, but this SmackDown card looks tasty. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture.
This is hot!
At WhatCulture WWE on X. Actually, you can follow both of us. You follow my pamphlet at
Traffic and Travel with Michael Hamflet.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back on Monday to review SmackDown. Me and Sid are going to be answering all your wrestling questions later on today. And then it's a Dadley Boys special episode of Wrestle Culture as well. So join us for that later on today, live on YouTube, I should say as well. But for now, this has been the SmackDown preview, where we talked about the potential of the Wyatt Six making an appearance, CM Punk returning to Chicago, what's next for Bayley, LA Knight confronting Logan Paul, Money in the Bank qualifiers, and Clash at the Castle Fallout.
SmackDown preview. It's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you soon.